Welcome, everybody, to this next episode of Hooligan Radio. I am Isaiah, and I am joined by my lovely podcasting hosts here. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Zach, how are you?
Swell.
And we are also joined by a guest. Dev, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
This is Josh's little brother, friend of the podcast. I'm pretty sure he's been on at least one time before. I can't remember if it's one or two times before at this point. Josh has known him his whole life. I've known him basically his whole life at this point too. And I'm excited to get into a couple different topics with Dev on board for this one. We're talking about some life events. I got one update. I don't know if anybody else has any other updates. We're talking about board games, which is not necessarily a new trend on this podcast, but a thing that we all enjoy pretty dearly. And then lastly, the main topic of the episode, the moment you've all been waiting for, Hooligan Radio will be determining the best meme format of all time. So with that being said, I'm going to get started with my life event. You guys, I bought a new car. I got a 2022 Ford Edge, and it is crispy. I'm a big fan. I used to drive a Chevy Cruze, a 2014 Chevy Cruze, so you could tell that this is obviously a very big upgrade. I wanted more space, for the fam and riding around in, and it's been dope. But listen, dude, it's like going to war when you're in there with the car salesman. It is absolutely the worst. Because you know what you want and they know what you want, and then negotiating with them is like, all right, dude, come on. So
It seems like getting a car, like something like that, like a house is a little bit more extreme, but getting a car is like a bigger commitment than getting married. Honestly, like that's how I feel. Like, I mean, obviously, getting married is a big life decision, but buying a car, it's like you're making a deal with like some mafia, like
literally, I can't agree more. Like, I feel like getting married, you guys are both the kind of in agreement on what the goal is here, and when you're buying a car, both parties are not in agreement on what we want here. I'm like, I want to pay this much money, and they're like, well, what if you paid this much money? And I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, what was your question, Zach?
Oh, no, I didn't have one.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it was just like, people were giving, like, for the week beforehand, I asked some of my coworkers, I was like, if you guys have any tips on buying cars, they're like, yeah, you never want to you want to send the guy back to his manager like 5 times so that you make sure you get the right price and stuff like that. And it was just like, why? Why has it got to be like this?
Let me ask you something. Did you pull up the Carfax?
Did I pull up the Carfax? No, since it was brand new, I didn't have to pull up the Carfax, but they pulled up the Carfax on me because I was trading in my old car. So they played their trap card on me by pulling up the Carfax.
Works both ways.
Yeah.
Did you say what color it was?
Black.
Nice.
Just emo boy things. I had to get I was in between. Okay, so there was a part of me that was going to get a blue car, but the blue cost an extra $500 for no apparent reason. And I was like, why the fuck would I do that?
Blue.
Yeah, I was like, it's the special blue. And I was like, I'll just get the black one. It has all the same features, but in black, and I don't have to pay for it. So it's black. I'm hoping to bring it up to the Cleveland area maybe in March. I don't necessarily know what my plan is at this point in time, but I'm excited. I'm very pumped. I haven't ever bought a new car. I've always had, old or used cars. So I'm pretty excited that I have a new car. I'm not excited I got to make payments on it. I've never had to make payments on a car before, but yeah.
Was there any like specifications you were looking for, or was it more of just like the brand or something?
So my dad works for Ford. So the brand was definitely, because I end up getting a deal on Ford cars because I am a primary family member or whatever. So that's why I ended up going with Ford. And then the only specifications I was really looking for was that it was bigger. than my
Spacious.
car. Yeah, more spacious. And I wanted, some of the like luxury features. I didn't want, like a base model. So I got like the in between. I didn't get, like the premier package, but it was good. I like it a lot. And I got a good price for it, I think. Um but yeah, I'm happy with it for now. I have they're doing some like treatment to it that they need to do to like protect the paint and like the interior and stuff like that. They're supposed to call me,
You
but
have to go get special oil and oil changes and all that.
no, actually I should be able to just get, regular oil changes since it's nothing like crazy engine wise, but should be good. My old car was not great. I think I was putting at least like $800 to $1,000 in maintenance into it every year, and like outside of general maintenance. So it was definitely time
Yeah.
to get out of that guy and spend some money in order to have a more reliable vehicle.
Absolutely.
How did that affect your insurance? Did that go up?
Yeah, it went up, but I don't necessarily know how much it went up because I got my first ever ticket as well since the last time I paid for my insurance. Because I was always one of those guys who, pays for all of it at once or whatever I can, like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So it went up, and right now I'm with Progressive, and they have that snapshot thing where it tracks your driving habits. So I'm driving like a granny until they're done tracking my driving habits, so I can get that discount. But it went up, but not by much. I didn't end up getting like a sports car or anything crazy that they would have been like, this guy's gonna wreck his shit.
Yeah, because like my dream car, I've said on this podcast before, is the Tesla Model S, and I already know like my insurance is probably gonna like double if not more, like especially if it was like brand new.
Yeah, the Model S is definitely a tough one because there's not a lot of people that can. I mean, people are not allowed to work on it. You have to get it worked on by a Tesla, basically at this point.
You can't modify it or anything like that.
Right. And yeah, and if you modify it, Tesla gets mad at you and they try to, bully you out of doing shit like
Void
that.
things.
Yeah. But yeah, because my dream car was the Model X. I wanted the SUV one with the doors that go like this. But that was double the price that I would have had to pay for what I got now. And, I don't actually own a home, so I don't have anywhere I could charge it.
That can serve both purposes, though.
What? Yeah, I could live in the car.
Exactly.
It's Model X life instead of van life, dude.
Yeah.
So I would have had to, hang out at a supercharger every time I wanted to charge up for 20 minutes or so. So maybe eventually when I have a house.
I just saw this little SNL skit that was making fun of electric cars, like because every dealership is coming out with an electric car now.
Yeah.
And it was like a commercial, and it was like the new electric car. It only takes like 3,648 AA batteries. And it's like you can replace them one by one or all at once with this like new feature, and it like pops out the little gas thing, and just like for like a minute straight, just AA batteries are pouring out. And then at the end, it's like batteries not included.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that electric cars are going through what cell phones went through at the beginning of cell phones, if you guys remember, where there was, oh, do you have this charger? And they're like, no, I don't have that charger. So I'm thinking after a couple of years that'll end up getting standardized, hopefully, if everybody decides to cooperate, and then it'll be a better time to buy an electric car. But hopefully I'll have mine paid off and then I can trade it in towards a cool electric car, but who knows? Who knows? But okay, that's all I have on my car. Sorry guys, is there any other life events you guys want to update on here?
I got my wisdom teeth out this past week.
Holy shit. Yeah, did it suck?
Sucked. Yeah, I'm all right though. It was just they're fully grown in on the top, so it was just a extraction. I didn't have to go under or anything. But yeah, I haven't really been. Yeah, I haven't been eating many solids over the weekend, but I think I'm finally to a point where I feel comfortable going back to eating regularly. So
just all beer. That's all you need.
Yeah, dude. He's on the liquid diet, dude. Just whiskey. Just Fireball that we found out is his favorite.
Yes.
Zach, anything from you?
No, I don't got anything too exciting.
Oh, by the time we next stream, also as well, I'll be getting my vasectomy. So look forward to the next stream on the update.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
I think, yeah.
So on the next stream, you guys can look forward to an update on how that goes.
That'll be your topic.
Yeah, yes, it will. It'll be a main topic. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but is that reversible or is it just a certain
It is
procedure?
So the
To an extent.
it is reversible, but it is not. It's more expensive to reverse it than it is to actually get it by like tenfold or even more than that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it is not
Not
as
before
safe
it or
as a
whatever.
procedure like than it is to get it.
It's like instead of 9 out of 10 doctors recommend, it's like 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
And
Well, I mean,
I'm
it
pretty
makes
sure it's like not even guaranteed that it will. It's just like, all right, you maybe have a chance now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's. I would assume it's easier to go in there and be like, stop stuff from working than go in there and have to fix
make
it so it
stuff
works
work
again.
that
Yeah.
you stopped
Yeah.
from working before. Yeah.
What's easier, to unplug something or to plug it in?
That's true. So yeah. That'll be, look forward to that at Life Update. I'll be bringing life updates probably in my small topic for at least a little while. But with
Are you
that,
gonna be able to do the next stream? You're gonna be like on that,
nah,
like laying up.
they literally. I was thinking the same
You'll
thing.
be in and out in like a day, won't you?
Yeah, they were like, you'll be able to drive yourself home, and I was like, what the fuck, for real?
The new age.
I was like, that's crazy. So yeah, I'll have updates on that next stream if you're listening or watching.
Wow.
But with
Well,
that,
nice.
let's hop in there and talk about the top stress-inducing board game, Zach, is what we have as your top 3. So give us a little description here and let's get into it.
If you are here for the in between, we talked a little bit about board games, and it's one thing we all love here across the board here at Hooligan Radio as well. Devin also loves board games, but on the side of it being cheerful and joy, there's also the downside of board games. It being stress-inducing, causing voids in friendships and families. So today we're going to visit the top stress-inducing board games. And we're going to get 12 good ones today since we got to get an extra guest, too.
I know, I'm pumped.
So
there's going to be
fun.
less honorable mentions, and there's also going to be, you got to take what you want at the beginning there, bro. It's going to be.
Yeah, you just need to take it. So I'm trying to figure out how the order. Actually, it should probably go Isaiah, myself, Devin, Josh. Back going that way. Josh, Devin, myself, Isaiah with the snake. So Isaiah, do you want to go ahead and begin?
Yeah, I got to go first stress-inducing board game, table game. I'm going with Jenga. Jenga gives me anxiety because I don't want the blocks to fall on my dainty hands. And I always am like super anxious about I'm anxious from the moment people are like, oh, okay, when we start playing, it's pretty safe. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm gonna fuck it up on the first one. I'm gonna twitch and knock it over. I'm gonna lose. Everybody's gonna yell Jenga. So Jenga is my number 1 pick on that. So Zach, you're up.
Number 1, I think it has to go to a classic out of the gate, and that's going to be Monopoly. Monopoly taught me early on not to trust others, definitely not to trust the bank, and
yeah, never trust the banker. First off,
I don't think I've had a game go longer than a Monopoly game. Out of all the different board games played, scheduled board games not going too long as Monopoly rounds can go. So definitely Monopoly.
Yeah, and then towards the end, you're just all tired, and you're like, you just want the game to end.
Yeah, you don't even
Someone
care.
gets boardwalk, and you're like, fuck this, flip the whole board.
Exactly. It's like, I want to lose, just land on it.
Yeah, that's why when I play Monopoly, I don't have any stress because I spend everything as fast as possible. I'm like, if I'm the first one eliminated from this game, I'm actually the winner. I'm gonna just
either gonna win or lose. I'm happy either way.
Right. I don't want to be the guy who comes in second and played for 8 hours in order to fucking secure second place.
Yeah.
All right, Dev, you're up.
All right, I'm not just trying to buy time here, but I just wanted to ask Isaiah, what's more stressful, the regular Jenga or the big Jenga?
Big
Because
Jenga.
Big Jenga? Yeah.
Because then more people
can
can see me fuck up. Yeah. Because normally I only ever play Big Jenga at the bar, and I don't want to dump a whole bunch of blocks on some unsuspecting person.
And then if you lose, if you dump it over, you have to pick it up. Like, that's
Right.
the rule.
That's the rule, and I don't want to do
enough
that.
everyone in that restaurant's looking at you.
Yep.
They know who fucked up.
Nope, not interested in Big Jenga.
All right, I think I'm gonna have to, for my first one. I most recently played it too. It's gonna be Uno, and I know there's different versions, but just Uno across the board. Multiple reasons. One, it's just as soon as you start, it's go time. Like you're just going, no matter how many people are playing, especially if it's like 3 or 4 people playing. Like, you're going at rapid pace, trying to get down to 1-0 cards, and I mean, it's just like hectic from the moment it starts. And then also, you play with certain people, and they actually get physically upset when, like, you hit them with a skip, or you hit them with a +4. Or the worst is when you get hit with a +4, but then you throw down another +4 and you give that person +8. It's all hell breaks loose.
I completely agree with that. When you get down to about 3 cards is when it gets the most stressful, because you're like, I hope people don't notice that I'm about to win.
Right.
Start hiding them.
All right, Josh, what about you? You got 2 in a row.
Yeah, all right, so my first one, I'll stick with the classics as well. One more so, I guess, you don't really see adults playing as much. Definitely played more as a kid, but when it comes to stress-inducing, you got to go with Perfection. I don't know if you guys remember Perfection, but you got to put all the pieces in 30
Before
seconds.
the timer pops it.
And then it explodes all over if you don't finish in time. That was pretty stress-inducing. Probably one of the first experiences I had as a kid with stress. Yeah. And then for my second pick, I'm gonna go away from the more classic traditional ones to kind of open it up to the more complex games that we're familiar with, and I'm gonna go with the one we already talked about, Cosmic Encounter. There's something stressful about a game where it doesn't matter how good you are or how well you're playing. It's like you have to, in many cases, not always, but in many cases you have to depend on other people you're playing with, either to manipulate them into making you win, or to work together to win. And there's always that element every time you play, and that's very stress inducing, knowing that it doesn't matter how good you are at the game. The worst person at the table who's never played before could win, because they just that's how the game goes. So gotta go with Cosmic Encounter.
Yeah,
I fucking love Cosmic Encounter.
I definitely got to play it more. I feel like I've maybe played it once or twice, but I know you guys play it all the time, and I definitely want to look into like new board games where there's like a lot going on.
I'm a big fan of that one.
Very good one.
You're back up, Dev.
All right, I was stuck between 2, so hopefully this other one that I was gonna say doesn't get taken. But first, I'm gonna have to go with Bop It. Obviously, they have like the newer ones where you can play with multiple people, but I quit when it was just the first 1-player game. That's when I said good riddance to it, because I was never good at it. I knew I never was gonna get good at it, and it was just stress inducing the whole time. I mean, that's literally the game, is just stress.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Dev's like, Bop It. He's like, hey, listen, you can't tell me what to do, bro.
Hear that buzzer go off, you're like, fuck.
All right, Zach, what do you got?
Second one for me, it's gonna be Taboo. From both sides of it, you can be stress-inducing with your partner not understanding the word that you're giving them, or you just get on a bad spell of accidentally using a word that's on it, so you have to keep throwing out the new card and get a new one, and just a stressful situation altogether. No one's happy at the end of the night.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like it's more with those like timed games, because that's another timed game.
Yeah,
those are the most stress-inducing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a good time playing Taboo.
See, I love Taboo, but I also hate it at the same time. It's that double-edged sword.
All right, that leaves me with 2, and I'm surprised that one of mine made it through, and the other one, I'm happy it did. So with number 2 pick, I got to pick Operation. The buzzer is just, fucking, it's when you're so focused and it buzzes you. Oof. Absolutely stress-inducing.
Thought that one had a chance of making through.
You were close. And then my last one is Haunting of Hill House. I don't know if you guys have played Haunting of Hill House. It's a game where basically everybody is playing cooperatively to build this board that you're playing on and kind of discover different things. And then eventually, one of the people you're playing with will end up being quote unquote the traitor in most cases, and that person will then be against the group in trying to achieve their win condition, and then the survivors would be trying to achieve whatever their win condition is. That game, I think, is necessarily more stressful during the first half whenever I'm like, all right, do I want to be, in the same general place as another character? What happens if they end up being the traitor or I end up being the traitor? I don't know. There's a lot of thought that goes into building the map as you're going. That one stresses me out too. Yeah. Big fan of that.
Great game.
All right, back to you, Zach.
All right, so I don't know if this one's necessarily stressful, but it's the most aggravating game for me, and that's any version of the game Risk. I've learned to hate that game more than any other game. It's honestly just the worst. That game can be as quick as 30 minutes to 4 hours, depending on the people you play with, and I think I just have the bad luck of playing it with awful people.
Are you calling us awful, bro?
Absolutely. I won't name drop here with one of our friends in the group, but we've walked out with Risk still left on kitchen tables waiting for.
Like, we gotta go do something else. Yeah.
We just need to stop. Everyone needs to get some air. Names have been called. Let's get outside. But yeah, absolutely Risk.
All right, Dev, you.
So this is my final one, correct?
Yep.
I think it's a bit cynical, but I'm gonna have to go with the game of life. I feel like
ironic, yeah.
I feel like
emo as hell, bro.
every step of the way throughout the whole game, I'm second guessing myself, and then like you get about halfway through the game and you're like, I should have done everything differently. I'm gonna lose. This is it.
This is it. I made all the wrong life decisions, bro.
Right. Mm-hmm. I should have just said fuck college and just gotten a job.
I just gotten a job. Yeah. All right, Josh, what do you got? The last pick. Round it all out.
Yeah, there's a lot that I think I could go with here, but Risk was actually going to be my last pick. I thought it was going to make it to me, but Zach took it. That was a good one. But I think
one of the people I played with was you. That's probably why.
Since Devin brought up Uno, kind of opened the floodgates for card games as well. So I think I'm going to go with one you wouldn't think is stress-inducing from before you play, but I'm going to go with Cards Against Humanity, because there's nothing more stressful than laying down a card that you think is a banger, and then the person reads it out loud and nobody laughs. And it's probably the most stressful, especially if you're sober. That's it. Your night's ruined.
That's it. No one thinks I'm funny, bro.
Yeah, so that's very stress inducing. That's gonna have to be my last pick.
I actually got somewhat of a card game for my birthday, and it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity. I think I told you, Josh. You said you might have had it, but it's like the meme where you put up the meme picture and you have to make a dialogue for the meme. And that is also the worst, because either you get just a shitty ass template and you're like, all right, I guess this is funny, and it just doesn't make sense, and you like the person has to read like the cards without knowing who put them down, and they're like, and they're just like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense, and then that was your card. You're just like, fuck.
I always hated that game because the cards were always like there's great cards and then there's just fluff cards, and it's just like, how did you get that card? Like, that card could be used for anything. That card's gonna win, and like, this card just says butter. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
I think the only way to really play is just make your own like dialogue cards, because the memes are like the memes that you would regularly see or whatever. They're pretty up to date, but the dialogue just does not make any sense.
We used to do that. I can't remember what group it was, that if we put the blank cards in there, and if you put the blank card in, essentially it canceled out it canceled out the round, and essentially it canceled everyone's card that put in there, and everyone had to come up with their own for that round if there was a blank card.
I think I do remember doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was always fun.
All right. Do we have any what are honorable mentions? I was gonna say runner ups, but I don't think that's the same thing.
Munchkin can get pretty stress inducing.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised nobody said chutes and ladders, bro. You don't want to hit those chutes, dude.
I hated Mousetrap because I can never get the Mousetrap to stay on top, so I could never play the real game and understand it to its full concept.
I've always wanted to play that. I never have though. But what about that? What about the break the ice game? Have you ever played that?
Oh yes,
I've
good
seen
call.
videos of that. I've never played it.
I think it's like you have there's like a polar bear or something on the ice, and you have to break the ice without having everything fall down.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Jenga, I guess.
You versus another person, and you each have to hit out one ice cube, and whoever makes the polar bear in the middle fall loses. So you have to that's a very good one. I would say I personally think that Eldritch Horror got rid of a lot of the flaws that made Arkham Horror so stress inducing, because Arkham Horror is so detailed and in depth that, if you're playing with 5 people, you get halfway through the game and you realize that I don't have enough time. There's no way we're going to do that. The monster's coming out. Let's just all try to prepare as much as we can to fight this monster, because we're not going to seal these portals because it's just too detailed. And then every turn it's oh, well, now everyone has cancer. Just something ridiculous.
Yeah. Arkham Horror is essentially the hard mode of it, and then Eldritch was all right, we need to dial it back a little bit.
So people can actually win. Oh,
yeah, it seems like every iteration they come out with, they're okay, let's just make it a little bit easier. So that's definitely not a real mention. But the thing with that one is at least it's not that stress-inducing, because you do reach that point where you realize, oh, well, we'll just fight the monster, and then you kind of accept it at that point. I think one time when we got together, Devin and my brothers and stuff got together to play D&D, we instead played Arkham Horror that night. I think, was it Arkham Horror? Or I think it was Arkham and not Eldritch. I can't remember. But might have been Eldritch Horror. But we got together and it was already 4 hours in. And we're okay, well, we're not going to finish this game, so let's just fight the monster, because it's just so detailed.
Yeah, and I think, I can't remember exactly what it was in the game, but one person just kept getting, the only thing he cared about was getting loot. From side missions or something, and we're all right, well, we got to go to this portal and try to close it, and he's just no, I'm just gonna go get this loot.
I gotta go get the loot.
We're all gonna die.
Been there, dude.
Yeah.
I've been that guy and been the guy who's God damn it, guy, don't get the loot.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. We talked a little bit about memes in that section, so let's get into your main topic, and I'll let you describe it for everybody.
Absolutely. Like you said, Devin already kind of brought it up when he was talking about the game. But we're going to be doing a tournament, like we like to do here, of the greatest of all time memes. So we have 16 selected memes here. I asked the panel here for some choices as well as some from myself. And these are all going to be, for the most part, memes or meme templates. We didn't, for the most part, really use GIFs or video memes or anything like that. There might be some in here that have a GIF version for sure, but for the most part, we're thinking about a meme that you would post, on Twitter or in a text or something that's just an image used as a template. So the second thing I'll say about it is that there's obviously thousands of memes out there, thousands of popular meme formats. These 16 were chosen just in the last few days. We could easily probably do 2 or 3 more full tournaments of all new meme templates that are all great. So if the ones you like aren't on here, we could definitely do this again in the future. The only thing different about this tournament than what we usually do is obviously there are 4 of us, so that's more likely that there's going to be a tie. So I think the only fair way to do this is, since this is my tournament and I set this up, my vote will be worth 1.000001. So if 2 people vote for something and 2 people vote for the other, the one that is voting with me, we have the lead by 0.0001, and that one advances.
Okay.
If we have it, so obviously, if all 3 of you were against me, that one would still move forward. And then in the finals, if it's a tie, we will not follow that rule. If it is a tie in the final, we'll try to convince one person to switch over to make it a little bit more interesting. But there's 16 of them, so we have a far way to go. I don't want to talk too much about it. Does everyone understand?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll just go in order of who I see on my screen. So for the first choice, we'll go Devin, Isaiah, myself, and Zach, and then I'll just rotate it by one person every time. So the first matchup is going to be Surprised Pikachu going up against Leonardo DiCaprio laughing in Django Unchained. So I tried to word all these memes as easy and descriptive as I could so that if you don't know them, you can Google them and they would come up pretty easily. But we have Surprised Pikachu versus Leonardo DiCaprio laughing in Django Unchained. Devin, you can go ahead and just discuss both of these memes if you're familiar with them, if you've used them, and then your choice.
All right, so I know, Josh, you use the Surprised Pikachu a lot. I feel like this is definitely one that you're going to go with. But however, I use the Leonardo DiCaprio and Django holding up the glass of whiskey or wine or whatever. I also use that a lot, and it's been around for a while. I personally like the Leonardo DiCaprio into Django more, but I just think I like there's one or two of these memes that I actually like kind of use in real life that I'll just be like mimic it out. So am I saying which one I like more?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be going with the Leo and Django.
Okay, Isaiah.
Wow, dude. I basically raised you, Dev. Surprise Pikachu is my go-to meme format. I mean, to the point of I used it for a long time, and then there's this car that generally always is at the dog park whenever I'm at the dog park, and they have a Surprise Pikachu like sticker on the back of their car, and I went out of my way to tell that person that I fucking love their sticker. So I gotta go with Surprise Pikachu on this one.
Yeah, I think they're both really good. I think, first of all the memes in this tournament are really good, so I guess that's pretty redundant. For me, one of my biggest things in this tournament is going to be versatility and how often can I use that meme. I think both of these memes are pretty versatile, but for me personally, I do think I'll probably end up using the Surprise Pikachu meme a little bit more. Also, the way that it came about on the internet, it was just so random where it's like, who found this Surprise Pikachu picture? Like, why was it used? It's just a little bit more interesting to me as far as its origin as well. So I'll go with the Surprise Pikachu. Zach, what about you?
I'm also going to be going with the Surprise Pikachu. I think it's a little bit more versatile as well, just outside of the quality of the meme, just with what you can use it for. But again, not giving anything to the Leonardo DiCaprio one. But Surprise Pikachu is probably going to be one of the bigger heavy hitters coming out of this meme bracket. Right. Hands down.
All right, yeah, so Surprise.
I think it's definitely, it's just like an emoji, you know, like it's just for you're surprised or at something, or even it could be like a sarcastic surprise. The Leo is definitely a little bit more like, you know, methodical almost.
Mm.
I like this. I like the sarcastically surprised use of it all the time. That's why I use it, and I think that's why I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, where you shouldn't be surprised at something. Yeah. Surprise Pikachu. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will move on. We'll go to the other side of the bracket for the next one. Okay, let me just say this. A lot of these memes are from SpongeBob, okay? And that's not all on me. I also got sent memes, you know, SpongeBob, when I asked around for memes for this tournament. But I just think we can all agree that because SpongeBob was around when we were kids, it influenced us, you know, growing up. It's a great producer of memes because we all remember almost all of the episodes that the memes come from. So with that being said, I limited it to 5 because we could probably have done an entire SpongeBob meme tournament.
5.
We probably could have done a whole tournament with them, but I limited it myself to 5. So the first one here is the disappointed Squidward meme. This is going up against the crying Michael Jordan. So that is the current matchup. 2 completely different memes, meaning 2 completely different things, but disappointed Squidward up against crying Michael Jordan. Isaiah, you go first.
I'm going right out the gate. No need to pitter-patter around this one. Crying Michael Jordan is one of the best meme formats and probably the most used meme formats. I was having there are a ton of SpongeBob memes, and I think that this one is not necessarily the cream of the crop. So putting it up against Crying Jordan, I think this one's getting bodied. I'm going Crying Jordan.
All right. Yeah, I can see definitely a lot of people choosing Crying Michael Jordan over Disappointed Squidward. I myself, though, have never personally used the Crying Michael Jordan meme, so I'm gonna have to go with Disappointing Squidward. I've seen it used a million times, don't get me wrong, but me personally, I'm gonna go with Disappointed Squidward because that is probably my most used meme. So it's definitely a personal choice on this one. What about you, Zach?
I'm going Crying Michael Jordan. Again, the versatility. You can plop Michael Jordan's crying face on your Disappointed Squidward meme, and you just change it and maybe made it a little bit better. You might, God, I see this meme come out at least once a month with something different, and it always makes it a little bit relevant. I'm giving it to Crying Michael Jordan again.
All right. Well, then that means Devin, you are the deciding vote in this one.
So, I think my deciding factor on this is that the Disappointed Squidward, although that is definitely a great what do you call it? What do we call it? The template, a great meme template for anything that you're kind of disappointed at or just kind of like, feel about. I feel like there's also a lot of different other memes that have like the same disappointing feeling or emotion behind them. And the Crying Michael Jordan is just like that, depressed, disassociative meme that, really has a specific meaning behind it. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Crying Michael Jordan.
Okay, so on that one, I am overruled 3-1. So Crying Michael Jordan will be moving on in the tournament. Up next, we're going to be going to, I think this is two heavy hitters right here. We're going to be jumping to Sarcastic Willy Wonka up against the SpongeBob I'm a head out meme. Sarcastic Willy Wonka, definitely one of the more classic memes. One of the ones that had, top text, bottom text back in that era. Facebook memes. And then the SpongeBob I'm a head out is one where there was definitely some outside context added to the photo to make it that meme. I'm first on this one, and it is really tough for me to choose between these two, but I think I am going to lean slightly towards the Sarcastic Willy Wonka. I mean, it's just like an icon. If you made maybe like a Mount Rushmore of memes, Sarcastic Willy Wonka might be on it. So that's the one I'm going to have to go to, but I think I'm a head out SpongeBob meme is one of the better ones in recent years. One of my favorite ones in particular was the year after Zion was drafted, Zion Williamson, and then it was like Zion after playing 2 minutes in the NBA. I'm a head out. So I love that one, but I'm gonna go with Sarcastic Willy Wonka. Zach, what about you?
I'm in the same sort of thought process too. Willy Wonka's meme is just so iconic and maybe one of the earliest memes I can think of and truly enjoying. But the I'm gonna head out one is just the timing for that one can be impeccable with some situations and events. But I think I'm gonna give it to Willy Wonka as well.
All right, Devin, what about you?
Well, it's sad to see that Willy Wonka has won this seed, but honestly, I use the I'm a head out in real life almost on a daily basis. Like whether I'm at work, whether I'm at the grocery store, or just at home, and I'm just like, all right, I'm a head out. Like it's just like literally written in my DNA. So that's definitely what I would go with.
Yeah, I am a head out is like Dev said, a go-to of mine. But Sarcastic Willy Wonka is a classic. Like when people say meme, it comes like more to mind, I guess, right? I'm thinking, that and fucking a rage comic fucking memes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going Sarcastic Willy Wonka. I'm trying to pull these memes up and put them on the stream, so if it looks like I'm not engaged, it's because I don't know what the brackets look like and which ones I should be pulling next.
You're fine. So
I'm doing the same.
So Isaiah, if you're looking at the brackets, I'm just going in order of the top one. So I went 1, 2, 3. So the next one will be 4, 13, and then I'll go 5, 12, etc. Okay. So up next, we're going to be doing confused Mr. Krabs, another SpongeBob meme, versus evil Kermit. This is another two completely different ones. I think evil Kermit probably requires a lot more. It depends on what joke you're trying to tell to add the context, but it was used, it blasted onto the internet. It was used like a million times when it first came out. And then confused Mr. Krabs is really, you could use in any scenario without text. But Zach, you're going to be up first for this one.
I think this one's rough for me. This one's close, but I'm going to give the edge to evil Kermit. I actually would probably argue that the confused Mr. Krabs one might be a little bit more situational than you think, or at least how I find it funny. But just like the evil Kermit one, that one's very situational. But man, when that one's used, it's great. That's another sort of early one that I would sort of put out is the evil Kermit one, too, or at least one of the earlier ones out of the 16 here.
All right. I do want to point out before we started the podcast, Zach said, "What is evil Kermit?" Okay, moving on to.
I thought that was. I don't know why, but I always refer to it as Star Wars Kermit.
Fair.
To get like the dark Sith and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Devin, what about you?
So I think my deciding factor on a lot of memes and just ones I like in general are how much I can relate to them in like how I feel in real life, and it's definitely going to be confused Mr. Krabs almost all the time in my life. I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
All right, simple enough, Isaiah.
I'm confused, Mr. Krabs. I've used that meme all the time, bro. Like, wake up from a nap, confused Mr. Krabs. Night of drinking, confused Mr. Krabs. Certain video game situations, confused Mr. Krabs. Yeah, that's one of my favorites of all time as well.
You wake up and there's 3 feet of snow outside.
Yeah, confused Mr. Krabs, right?
All right, well, that would mean that I'm the deciding vote on this one. So I do want to say for evil Kermit, it is, I wouldn't say as classic necessarily as the sarcastic Willy Wonka, but it's definitely up there, as like kind of like Zach said. Another factor we haven't really talked about yet, though, is also the memes being used and ending up being cringe. And I feel like it'd be very hard to use confused Mr. Krabs in a way that would come off as cringe, because it's so simple. Evil Kermit, I could see a lot of people using on Twitter and things that are just extremely cringe and not for me. So I'm going to go confused Mr. Krabs as well. But Evil Kermit is definitely a good meme. I also want to say I was choosing between Evil Kermit and Kermit sipping tea, but I chose Evil Kermit. But Kermit sipping tea is another very popular one.
I like that one as well.
All right, so up next, this is going to be an interesting one. Up next, Michael Jackson eating popcorn will be going up against Patrick from SpongeBob being chained to a barrel. So, Devin, you're going to be up first on this one.
All right, I have no idea what Michael Jackson eating popcorn is. Oh, I see, it's the Thriller. Yeah, I've only seen that one a couple times, so I can't relate to it too much. But I mean, it's just the Patrick Star being chained to a barrel. Like I said, like my deciding factor is how I relate to things in real life, and it's just I wouldn't say like I'm a very opinionated person, but when it comes to things that like I like truly solely believe in, I feel that exact thing, and also like I remember the exact scene from SpongeBob, and it's probably one of the best scenes also, just like how Patrick is in general, and it's just like, you know, I'm gonna say my piece, and I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna die on this hill. It's basically like the meme for "I'm gonna die on this hill." So I'm gonna have to give it to that.
All right, Isaiah.
I gotta go with Michael Jackson popcorn on this one. I love. There's nothing better than watching somebody say something fucking idiotic on Twitter and then seeing the next reply being this Michael Jackson popcorn meme, or even better. My favorite way to subscribe to Facebook drama is throwing this meme into the comments if I can, or even just an idea of this meme, like asterisk Michael Jackson eating popcorn meme. So I just love the way that people use it is Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's really tough for me. I think that what Devin brought up earlier about the disappointed Squidward could apply to the Michael Jackson popcorn, where there's other ones like the guy unfolding the lawn chair and sitting down. Like there's other ones that kind of display the same thing, like you're getting ready to watch the drama unfold. I also love though how the Michael Jackson popcorn evolved itself to where it was like, and then there was the meme of him holding the whole bag of popcorn and he's like, I brought it for everybody, and there's just like the evolved memes of it. I would have to disagree with Devin. I've seen the Michael Jackson popcorn literally everywhere. It is a Twitter thing though, definitely, especially, and I see it there all the time. The Patrick Chain to a Barrel one is so oddly specific and hilarious. I love it so much. The reasons Devin brought up about it being remembering how it played out in that episode is exactly how people use it on the internet, for like just these dumb hot takes that should not get you in that situation, but on the internet it does. So I really love it. I am going to have to give the edge, though, to Michael Jackson eating popcorn. I think it's a bit more of a classic, and it's a bit more, you're going to see it. You see any spicy take on the internet, you scroll down, you're going to see Michael Jackson eating popcorn. So I'm going to go with that one. Zach, what about you?
Absolutely. Just like Isaiah said, just popping it in there and if you already see it there in some sort of thread, it's good. So it's sort of like that stamp of approval for something. So definitely giving it to Michael Jackson popcorn.
All right, so that will move on to Michael Jackson eating popcorn. We have two more first round matchups here. So the next one is going to be the distracted boyfriend meme. I think we're all familiar with that one. We have three. Oh, my bad. Yeah, you were correct. Thank you. But so this one's going to be the distracted boyfriend meme, where you have the boyfriend holding hands with his girlfriend, but he's turning around looking at the woman walking away, and there's obviously text put into place for what each person is. This is one that's been used a lot, especially over the last decade. And this one's going up against our last, I believe, SpongeBob meme of the tournament, which is Squidward in his house looking outside the window and seeing SpongeBob and oh, hi, Boo.
Oh, whoa.
And seeing SpongeBob and Patrick running outside having fun. So those are the two memes for this one. I believe Isaiah is up first for this one.
This one is this one's tough. I really like both of these memes. But I think I'm giving it to Distracted Boyfriend. Based on some of the stuff that we said earlier, how memes evolve. I loved how this one came out, and then I loved how just some of the Photoshop that people have done with different characters being in place of this meme, like as the headshot, stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm going Distracted Boyfriend on this one.
All right, yeah, I think I love both of these memes too. I think that the distracted boyfriend's definitely a little bit more mainstream, normie meme than any of the SpongeBob ones, really. And I really love the Squidward looking out the window, especially when it was like ones I can think of are like, certain systems being cross-play, and it'll be like PS4 looking out at Xbox and PC players, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That kind of fit into whatever niche you want. I could definitely see myself voting for Distracted Boyfriend, but since Isaiah already did, just to make it interesting, I'm actually going to lean towards Squidward looking out the window, just to see what Zach and Devin have to say. So, Zach, I'll throw it to you.
I am also going to actually be voting for Squidward looking out the window. I think actually out of all of the SpongeBob ones that were put on this list, this is my favorite one that's on here. It's just so good. It just portrays what it wants so well every single time. It's another one where if I already see the meme without looking at the words, I pretty much know like, all right, this is gonna be pretty good, or like I'm gonna get some sort of chuckle.
All right, and Devin?
I'm gonna have to go with the distracted boyfriend on this. It has literally infinite amount of uses for it. I couldn't think of like a time where I saw it and it was, it had like even little pictures like photoshopped on what each person was supposed to mean or whatever, and it didn't make sense to me. It's just it's always great, and even if I'm not like hysterically laughing at it, I'm just like, that is 100% true. And also, very recently, I actually got a bunch of lore from it, and it apparently is a whole series of pictures that ends with the girlfriend and the girl that was distracting the boyfriend ended up marrying each other, and I just thought that was like the story is complete. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
it's so magical.
The lore.
Well,
great.
that's definitely a good one. I'm going to have to. Yeah, I could go either way. I'm going to stick with my original vote though, but I could have seen myself definitely going either way with that one. But got to stick up for the. In my opinion, I think Zach might be right. It might be the best SpongeBob meme. So, all right, moving on here to the last one of the first round. I see what you're saying, Zach. I think were you saying that there's one more in the first round because I was already combining them to. Oh no, you're right.
Confused Nick Young and the boy.
You're right. You're right. Okay, that's the last one. But first, we're gonna be going with the Drake meme from his music video, where first he's saying no, he doesn't like the thing, and then yes, he does like the thing, whatever that thing is in the meme, versus the Arthur Fist. I'm actually first on this one. I think the Arthur Fist is one of the most random ass memes that have ever existed. Like, who found this? Why is it a meme? It's just a fist and it's from Arthur. Like, there's so many things random about it. It got used so much in popular culture. But then you have the Drake meme, which is so versatile and you could use for literally anything. I've used myself a million times. So this one's really tough, especially to go first on. I think I'm, as much as I love the Arthur Fist, I'm gonna have to lean towards the Drake meme. I think it was just a little bit lasts over time. The Arthur meme's already kind of ran its course and isn't really used anymore, so I'm gonna go with the Drake meme. But that's a good one. Zach, what about you?
I'm also probably going to be going under. I'm also going to do the Drake meme. Actually, now that I think about it, it's just it has story to it. The Drake ones, and with the Arthur one, it just is so random at times. Even like you sort of mentioned, it's sort of becoming into existence. It was sort of just random. Um, don't get me wrong, it's still very good, but I think Drake's no then yes sort of memes, that format's just stellar.
And Devin?
For me, I'm gonna have to go with the Drake no and yes meme. I don't think I've seen one of those as well where I'm just like, I didn't agree with. I think it's always just like spot on. And it's also it doesn't have to be like it can be random shit as well. Like I saw one that was like Elizabeth Olsen and her sisters no, and then it was like the Scarlet Witch and her like witch friends, and it was like yes, and I was like, what the fuck is this even like? Like I
How did we
agree,
get
but
here? Yeah.
yeah.
This is bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. 3 to
Sorry,
1.
buddy.
The Drake meme is the worst version of the drifting meme. And that's just straight up the fucking goat of the yes no meme, right? Where there's the car that's like drifting onto the exit and the street sign is the decision. 10 out of 10 better version of the Drake meme. Arthur Fist, though, has no replacement. Arthur Fist all the way.
Yeah,
All right,
I
well.
could see where it could have its replacements, and the Arthur Fist. I feel like it can also have its replacements, but it's not as like like trying to get across what you're saying if you just throw in an Arthur
The Arthur
Fist. Like,
Fist,
you're
yeah.
not gonna get the same.
It's like the angry version of Surprise Pikachu. It's like almost an emoji.
That's fair. The only thing I would say, the difference between what Isaiah's talking about with the highway meme is I love using the highway meme in an ironic fashion. And I wouldn't really use the Drake one ironically. Like I would do like the driving the car, would be something that you would think you're not going to go that way, but then I swerve that way. I love using it more ironically, but I totally get what you're saying though. And that's a tough first round one. A lot of these ones, if the first round, if we hit shuffle a few times, we'd have different results, but it is what it is for that. Last first round matchup here. Zach already kind of talked about it, and he'll be first on this one. Confused Nick Young going up against Dat Boy. I love this matchup. I don't know why. I just think it's hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even too sure what the boy meme is trying to portray.
That's
and
the
I
best
still
part.
Yeah, and I think that is a little bit of it's. The best part of it is just its obscurity. But the confused Nick Young meme also is just. There's so many different variations of it, and each one is so good. There's like an emo version of it with him like blacked out, with the emo hair across his eyes, completely gothed out. It's great. So I'm gonna be giving it to Confused Nick Young.
I lost
right,
that
Devin?
boy for those who are watching, so I think we all know what it looks like. I'm gonna hide Michael Jordan right now.
Yeah. Although this is one that
Sad face Michael Jordan,
I
that
kind of
boy.
have to be a hypocrite on. While I can actually relate to what Dat Boy is trying to portray in real life, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Nick Young because
What is that? So what is that though? I still don't know the answer to that.
It's
That boy, man.
yeah, the most simplified version I could think is just like really, like is this really happening or something? I don't know, but
No, there's no explanation. It's just that boy.
But yeah, the Nick Young is just it it executes what it's trying to portray. I think perfectly. So I think I have to go with that.
All right, Isaiah.
David and I are in agreement on that one, dude. The Nick Young is it's borderline an emoji, my dude. It's good. It serves its purpose so well, and like it's with the so good. Yeah, I'm going Nick Young on that. Dat Boy is Dat Boy is an iconic meme, but I just don't understand. Like, I understand that it was funny. It was so fucking funny. But I don't understand why, and it hurts me to think about why. What about you, Josh?
Well, my vote doesn't matter since you guys all three were in agreement. But I would have gone Nick Young as well. Dat Boy was just an excellent. It was like the ultimate. You could take almost any image and then just throw Dat Boy into it, just a Dat Boy PNG, Photoshop it in there, and then it becomes a Dat Boy meme. Pretty great. But yeah, I think the Nick Young one, it stood the test of time more so because of its simplicity and how great it is. I also just love that Nick Young has several memes that people use all the time and don't know who Nick Young is. So I find that really funny. So that's going to move on, and that completes our first round. Are you guys ready for the second round?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, so up first, Confused Nick Young is back, and he's going up against Surprised Pikachu. And that is going to be Devin first on this one.
I'm gonna have to go Nick Young on this one. I think they're both, like I said, they're both perfectly portraying what they're trying to do. But I feel like I'm a lot more confused in life than shocked, and I feel like I would use the Nick one more. I really don't use either of them like on a daily basis or anything, but I think I can relate to the Nick Young one.
It's me next, and I gotta go. I gotta go with Surprise Pikachu, not because of the version I have on the stream right now is kind of more high def, but the fucking one that's ripped straight from the Pokemon anime is like fuzzy, and the quality is not great. Definitely it makes it better for sure. I agree that I probably used the Nick Young one more, but I think that Surprise Pikachu just has its place in my heart. So I'm going with Surprise Pikachu and make it a 1-1.
All right, that would make me the deciding vote, so I'm going to throw it over to Zach first.
I'm going to give it to Surprising Pikachu. It's just so good. The ability to me, Surprising Pikachu has a better lead up than the Nick Young meme and what it's trying to get out there. Yeah, I'm giving it to Surprising Pikachu.
Yeah. Like everything I said about the Nick Young meme still stands against Surprised Pikachu. Like it's still probably going to last the test of time a little bit longer. It's very simple but I'm gonna also have to go with Surprised Pikachu. I think it's just such a basic, amazing meme that you can use without text, with text as a reply to something. It's very versatile, and I have trouble seeing who's going to take it out in this tournament. So we'll see. But Surprised Pikachu narrowly will move forward there. Up next is going to be the other side of the unless you already have something up, Isaiah.
I don't have anything
okay.
up.
All right, up next we'll go to the other side of the bracket. We'll go Sarcastic Willy Wonka going up against Squidward looking out a window. I think this matchup is literally hurting my heart, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But Isaiah, you're up first.
I have to give this to... Right off the top of the dome, I'm going Willy Wonka on this one. I just remember, back in the day of shitty memes, this was just like one of the kings of shitty memes, bro. Um, yeah, I'm going Willy Wonka. I think it's just because I'm an old boy.
All right. Well, yeah, it's tough for me, but I think sarcastic Willy Wonka. It is a goat, classic meme. But I think one of the best things about meme and humor in general is that it has evolved, and I think sarcastic Willy Wonka is kind of that classic top text bottom text meme. I think Squidward looking out the window is an evolved meme, a new age meme, and I'm gonna lean towards Squidward looking out the window in this one. What about you, Zach?
I'm an oldie. I'm giving it to Willy Wonka as well. It's just still used every single day. It's a classic. I'm still coming across it in social media. But again, not talking anything bad about the Squidward one. It's just Willy Wonka would be on the Mount Rushmore, I would imagine.
All right, Devin, you're the
meme
deciding
Mount
vote.
Rushmore.
Yeah, this one is pretty difficult. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Willy Wonka just because this is probably first generation of memes that at least I came across. All while I could really relate to the Squidward one, especially in like quarantine, the last year and a half, 2 years. Just seeing some people live their lives, and I'm just stuck inside playing video games. Obviously enjoying my life, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Willy Wonka on this.
All right, well, that's 3-1. Willy Wonka will move on to the semifinals.
I think it all plays into we all want to be sarcastic Willy Wonka. None of us want to be Squidward, man.
Fair enough. All right, up next, another good one. Confused Mr. Krabs going up against Michael Jackson eating popcorn. I'm going first on this one, and I'm going to go with Confused Mr. Krabs. I think everything I said about the Michael Jackson popcorn one got it just barely past the first round, and it was going up against, in my opinion, an inferior SpongeBob meme to Confused Mr. Krabs. So I think Confused Mr. Krabs is a SpongeBob meme that even outlasts SpongeBob. Someone could have never watched SpongeBob and see the Confused Mr. Krabs meme and totally understand it instantly and relate to it. The Michael Jackson one also really doesn't have any use outside of online discourse. Like, you're not going to use the Michael Jackson eating popcorn meme really in a text thread unless like two people are arguing with each other or something. It's a very specific meme, and it does that well, but I think the Confused Mr. Krabs one is just universal. I'm going to have to go with that. What about you, Zach?
Wait, I want to chime in. I think that if you use both of these memes in that discourse, you get a better result with the Mr. Krabs meme. If two people are fighting and you throw this on it, it's fucking good. Yeah. Oh god, I just stopped a minute. Yeah.
I will end this one early and also give it to Confused Mr. Krabs over Michael Jackson. The versatility of the Confused Mr. Krab to the Michael Jackson one just puts it on top.
All right, Devin?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Confused Mr. Krabs on this one. Like I said before, I've used it in real life plenty of times. It's great when you can use a meme in real life as well and just like have it in perfect situations. And I don't even remember really seeing the Michael Jackson eating popcorn, so I could never, give it to that one.
All right, and Isaiah?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Krabs all the way, baby. This is this is also on meme Rushmore, dude. For me,
I think that was our first clean sweep of the tournament thus far. Yeah. It's pretty surprising with how many we had, but that was our first one we all agreed on. And then the last one of the semifinals, the crying Michael Jordan going up against the Drake meme. Zach, you're first on this one.
It is the crying Michael Jordan for me, and I'll kick it on off to the next person. I think
which would be Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's hard to choose from. I think I'll go with the Drake meme just because, when I see the Drake meme, I don't need any other context. Usually the meme's right there in my face and I can either get it or not. And most of the time I get it. And the Michael Jordan one usually has some sort of subtext to it if it's not just a meme. But I think that's my reason to go with Drake.
Isaiah?
I gotta go crying Michael Jordan on this one. Only because the fact that this is the first meme I've ever edited, I actually took crying Michael Jordan's face and put it on our friend Brad. And so I am way more fond of crying Michael Jordan than I am of the Drake meme. So I'm going crying Michael Jordan on this one.
All right. I'm torn on this one because on one hand, I voted for the Drake meme in the first round, and I didn't vote for the crying Michael Jordan meme in the first round. So it'd be hard to switch that for that to make sense. But I think their matchups in the first round also had a lot to do with that. And for me personally, what Isaiah said about the Drake meme in the first round, I think, what I said about it being different than the other decision memes did, stand true for me in the first round. In this one, though, I don't know. It's tough. There are other decision memes that could work just as much, if not better, than the Drake one. There's also memes that are like anti-humor decision memes, like the Yu-Gi-Oh one, where he shows the Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then Yugi shows his, and it like blows the guy away.
Yeah.
The crying Michael Jordan's kind of one of a kind, and while I don't like use it all the time personally, it is kind of also might be on that Mount Rushmore. If it were just a straight up instinctual personal decision, I'd probably go with Drake, but I think what will lead to the better matchups later on here also would probably be the crying Michael Jordan, so I'm going to go with that one.
Nice.
All right, we're in the semifinals now. And I'm going to stick with this one because I think the other one we might argue a little bit more about. So I'm going to stick with the crying Michael Jordan, actually. And I'm going to go with him going up against sarcastic Willy Wonka. I think Devin was first on this one.
Yeah, this one, I'm going to have to go with the sarcastic Willy Wonka. It's, like I said, first generation. It stood the test of time. If I ever see if I'm ever scrolling through Facebook or Twitter real fast and I see a sarcastic Willy Wonka, I'm stopping to read it. If I pass along a crying Michael Jordan, I might not care too much.
All right, Isaiah.
Yeah, dude, I got to go with sarcastic Willy Wonka as well. Sarcastic Willy Wonka walked so that crying Michael Jordan could run, baby.
Okay. Wow. Zach, I'll throw it over to you.
I think I actually am going to probably give it to Willy Wonka as well over Michael Jordan for this one. Yeah, sort of what Isaiah said. Just the Willy Wonka one's the beginning of it all.
They got question anything that comes in its path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that if I did send through the Drake meme, it would get absolutely crushed by Willy Wonka. I thought crying Michael Jordan might have some more defense from the panel, but obviously sarcastic Willy Wonka just overtakes no matter what it is. So I'm going to go that way as well. Clean sweep. Sarcastic Willy Wonka will be in the finals up against one of these two memes. This for me is extremely tough.
The finals, bro. This is my finals, dog.
We have the surprised Pikachu going up against confused Mr. Krabs. Isaiah, I hate to do this to you, but you are first on this one.
This is impossible. Literally impossible. I fucking love both of these memes so much, dude. So much, but I have to go with I'm going with Mr. Krabs on this one. I'm going with Mr. Krabs.
Wow.
I can't. I know. I completely understand. You guys thought I would go one way, but sometimes you got to zig when they say zag. So,
well, yeah. As surprising as that is, I mean, I'm going to have to follow suit. You're the biggest defender of the surprise Pikachu. When you sent it to me in the chat, you said my favorite meme of all time, and you sent the surprise Pikachu.
On my face. I gotta put it on my face on the stream.
So I can't disagree. Gotta go Mr. Krabs. We'll see if it's a clean sweep though. Zach, what about you?
I'm also Mr. Krabs already won. Surprise Pikachu. I'm gonna have to give a knock to Surprise Pikachu. It's just so good. It's one of the best ones out there and still currently one of the hotter ones being used. So at least gotta give a nod out to Pikachu.
Yeah, and for me, while I think Surprise Pikachu is just a little more subtle than the Mr. Krabs. Like the Surprise Pikachu is like, wow, didn't expect that, but the Mr. Krabs is just like, what the hell is going on? Like really thrown for a loop. So I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Krabs.
All right.
To see an icon fall, but the real thing is, do we think we got the one that can beat Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that does leave us to the finals. Confused Mr. Krabs going up against sarcastic Willy Wonka. My vote is no longer the trump card here. If we are 2 versus 2, we'll have to battle it out, but we'll see. I'll go first. These two are both very iconic, but I'm definitely going to have to lean towards the confused Mr. Krabs. Any meme that doesn't require text should defeat a meme that requires text. You could argue, though, that sarcastic Willy Wonka doesn't require text in some situations, but I just don't think so. I'm going to go with confused Mr. Krabs. Zach, what about you?
I'm going to give it to Willy Wonka. Because, again, it's about the entirety of it and not just first glance. So, giving it to Willy Wonka for the full setup.
All right, Devin?
Yeah, on this one, I think I'm going to have to go with Mr. Krabs. May make this a tie. We'll see. I just think, like, right along with what you said, Josh, I'm much more so just send memes. I mean, I'll send full memes, but a lot of the times I'll send just, like, pictures of memes, and you usually get the context with it. And while it's sad to see Willy Wonka fall, it is a lot more of like preference. Just, do you want to read full memes and get a joke out of it, or do you want to be able to use certain frames or meme templates to actually describe how you're feeling? I think that's a lot more important.
All right, Isaiah, are you going to be the deciding vote here? Are we going to go into a tie, or are we going to name a winner? It's up to you.
Well, you know, if I sit back and I look back on my life, somebody looked me dead in my face and said, Isaiah, I need you a picture to describe your life since you graduated high school. I'm going Mr. Krabs all the fucking way, baby. And I identify with this Mr. Krabs. And therefore, this Mr. Krabs must win the meme tournament. The gavel noise.
I definitely feel like as a kid, sarcastic Willy Wonka, what you think life will be like as an adult. Confused Mr. Krabs, what it actually is.
Yeah, 100%. Literally, since 2012, if I was to reflect on my life, I'd be like, shit, that's me, bro.
That's hilarious. All right, well, Confused Mr. Krabs takes the cake. 5 SpongeBob memes in the tournament. All of them fell either in the first or second round. Confused Mr. Krabs made it all the way and is the greatest of all time meme in this tournament. I would love to bring this back in the future with 16 more memes, get it to a point where maybe we have 4 8 winners, and then we could do a best of the best memes tournament down the line. So
we do fucking meme Ninja Warrior.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. First and foremost, before we send it to the break here or the end of the episode, depending on how you're watching, Devin, thank you for joining us here. Go ahead and plug whatever you have going on where people can check you out.
Yeah, you can look me up on SoundCloud right now at Day-Von. I'm uploading tons of music on there, and soon to be paying distributors to be putting on Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. And then also at Davon Smile on TikTok. And I post some stuff on there. I also have another podcast YouTube channel with my brother Josh at Watch More Movies. And yeah, hopefully this summer is the one true summer that we get since 2019, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the boys flourish and we have a great year.